Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda. Our phone numbers are as usual area code 002-023855-248 or 249, and the email address is still the same, ask@huda.tv. Basically, alhamdulillah, we don't have pending questions from the last episode, but we have many questions through the email. So I'll start answering some of these questions by the time you ring in, inshallah. Brother Aqil Muhammad has a question performing his Umrah. He says, my family and I are planning to perform Umrah inshallah next Friday. May Allah accept and make it easy. This will be our first time to perform Umrah, and we'll be crossing the Miqat. Is Tawaf al-Wada' necessary after Umrah? So I guess the question is pertaining Tawaf al-Wada'. There is no Tawaf Wada' for the Umrah. I mean, it is not necessary. Tawaf al-Wada' is prescribed as a wajib or a must for the pilgrims. But for the Umrah, if somebody does it, that's fine. And if not, it is not necessary in the more right view with regards to the Umrah. Tawaf al-Wada' is the last Tawaf that a person should do before leaving Mecca if he or she will perform in Hajj. It is a wajib. If the person fails to do it, then they owe a ransom or a sheep to be slaughtered in Mecca and distributed amongst the poor. And it would not invalidate the Hajj if somebody skipped it, because it is not one of the pillars. It is a wajib, a must. But it is not a must in the case of performing Umrah. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. He also says that our flight is in the night on Friday. If we bath for Jumu'ah, is it necessary to bath once again in the evening with the intention of Umrah? The Prophet ﷺ used to perform ghusl upon entering Mecca, and for the tawaf, for going for the day of Arafah. So if a person performs ghusl with the intention of ghusl al-Jumu'ah, is an emphatic sunnah, is recommended as well. And in the evening he's performing tawaf. We understand the purpose of performing ghusl. The voluntary ghusl or the recommended ghusl is for purification, to adorn yourself, to eliminate the bad smell, and to smell great before certain occasions. Jumu'ah prayer, entering Mecca, a sacred place, performing tawaf, going to Arafah on the day of Arafah, going for Eid prayers. So it would be recommended to perform another ghusl, especially after you enter Mecca after a long journey. And nowadays it's very hot, it's over 40 centigrade. So definitely we sweat. Even if you are in air-conditioned transportations, you still get some sweat. So I would recommend to take a shower before performing the tawaf with the intention of performing ghusl. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The first caller, Sabiha from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam, Sabiha. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you, Sheikh?
Great, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Sheikh, I live in Makkah al-Mukarramah, alhamdulillah.
I envy you. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Lucky you.
Yes. Inshallah, my mother will be coming here on a visit visa. My father has expired, so can she make a umrah because my father is not there and my brother, he cannot come from India. So can she perform Umrah with me and my husband?
Okay, there are two things. We're talking about traveling alone for a woman without her male mahram or husband, whether she's young or old. The vast majority of the scholars, it is not permissible. The vast majority of the scholars are of the view that it is not permissible due to the sound ahadith and references. There are some contemporary scholars who adopted the view that if she's traveling in a safe company, it is permissible. Now, the second part of the question is, if she's already in Mecca, now we don't know how she traveled by herself with a mahram or without a mahram. Now, she is in Mecca. Is it permissible for her to perform Umrah without her mahram? It is permissible. Okay. What about if she traveled all the way from her initial point to the final destination to Mecca without a male mahram in order to perform Umrah? She does not have to, even if it is Hajj. But what if she did? Would Hajj be accepted? Is Hajj valid? Is Hajj valid? Yes, if she fulfills the remaining conditions and the mandatory parts of Hajj. But she is in violation for traveling alone without a mahram. The acceptance is a secret between the servant and his creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can ask the Shaykh, will Hajj be accepted in this condition? I don't know. I don't know even if my Hajj is accepted or not. I'm the one who's done it. I don't know if my sadaqah will be accepted or not. I do my best. I give. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا آتَوا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ أَنَّهُمْ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ رَاجِعُونَ. The true believers, they give whatever they give of good deeds, of charity, of fasting, of Hajj, and their hearts are frightened. They don't know whether this good deed will be accepted or not, and they will be returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see whether their a'mal have been accepted and granted the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. So I can only answer within my capacity. Is it valid to perform Umrah without a male mahram? It is valid. But the woman who travels without a male mahram is actually involved in a violation of a sin of traveling without a male mahram. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, it is not permissible for a woman who believes in Allah and in the last day to travel the travel distance, whether it's a day, 2 or 3, more or less, without her male mahram. هذا والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Shaykh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, thank you Muhammad for asking.
Sheikh, I want to know, like, sometimes what I do is I lead my family in the salah, in Jama'ah. So, but sometimes what happens when I recite some long surah, I get stuck. And I'm not able to continue with the surah further. So, in this case, what should I do, Sheikh?
Okay, so you lead your family in prayer. If you read or recite a long surah, you may forget, you get stuck. What you do? That is the question, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. If the imam, whether leading his family or followers in the masjid or even in al-masjid al-haram, makes an error in the recitation or forgets, makes a mistake, then if the person behind him or anyone in the first row know the answer, knows the correction, should give him a bite or a luqmah in order to give him a hint or correct his error. If he hears that and he does it, fine. What if he's stuck and he doesn't know what to continue with, and none of the followers can actually continue or give him the following verse? In this condition, you can just say Allahu Akbar and go for ruku'ah. It will be sufficient to recite a single verse in the salah after the recitation of Al-Fatiha in order to fulfill the tradition of reciting after Surah Al-Fatiha. And I would recommend, instead of reciting a long surah or long verses, recite what you are certain from, what you have memorized and mastered. And lead in the prayer helps memorizing the Quran, helps on memorizing the Quran, because you get to recite frequently, so you revise what you recite before the prayer and within the prayer. Thank you, Muhammad, and Jazakallah khairan. Brother Saeed from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. Sheikh, we love you for the sake of Allah.
أحبك الذي أحببتني فيه. جزاك الله خيرا سعيد. Thank you so much.
And how are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I'm great. Thank you so much.
I have one question, Sheikh. We perform Hajj, me and my wife, and we did all the Hajj correctly, but in the end, my wife did not perform Tawaful Wida because she was having her periods.
Now.
So we came back. We did not do any ransom because she did Tawaful Ifada and the other thing, everything, except the last Tawaful Wida. She did not do it because she was on her period.
Did she do Tawaful Ifada?
Yes, she did Tawaful Ifada.
She does not owe any ransom. A woman who experiences her menses after performing Tawaful Ifada, and she did not get to perform Tawaful Wada', she is exempt from the Tawaf of Al-Wada', the farewell Tawaf, and also from the ransom, which is Al-Fidya. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah intends to give you ease, does not want to make things difficult for you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. If a woman happens to experience her menses, it's not her choice. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Safiya had her period, the mother of the believer Safiya radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha, after performing Hajj, so Aisha had it in the beginning, and Safiya, may Allah be pleased with all of them, had it by the end. He said, did you perform Tawaful Ifada? And that's why I asked you the first question. Did she perform Tawaful Ifada, one of the main pillars of Hajj? You said yes. She also said yes. He said, then let's set out. You don't owe Tawaful Wada', nor do you owe any ransom or fidya. Barakallahu fikum. Uzma from Oman.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, Uzma.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I have one question.
Go ahead.
Regarding Ruqya.
Naam.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay, not a problem. Please try again. From a better line though. Okay. Yasin Ahmed is asking a question pertaining his future baby girl. His wife, inshallah, is due to deliver, and they're expecting to have a baby girl. So he was asking about giving her the name Aisha. Is it a good name? Of course, it is a good name. It should be enough to make it a good name that it was the name of the mother of the believers, Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam once was asked, whom do you love the most? He said, Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha. She's our mother, and if you choose that name, that's a very lovely name. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's take a short break, and inshallah we'll continue in a couple of minutes, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Ramadan in Focus. I'm Yusuf Estes. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, you can appreciate the subject of Ramadan. As we say in Texas, get the hay down where goats can eat it, you know. Totally and completely all mercy, if there is mercy, must be coming from Ar-Rahman.
Don't let another Ramadan pass you by without taking time to reflect on the true meaning of this blessed month.
How much? 99 times all of the mercy that's ever been shown in this universe is going to be shown to the believers on that day. And certainly we will need it. Isn't that the truth? Look, this is from the mercy, the rahmah of Allah. So it's always a responsibility of Muslims to make sure the right message gets out. but it's also our responsibility to listen to those in authority over us.
Begin to put Ramadan in focus with Texas-born Sheikh Yusuf Estes on our new program, Ramadan in Focus. The entire staff at Huda would like to wish you a wonderful and blessed Ramadan.
All the prophets are brothers, and they represent the same message. What was the call of the prophet? What was his invitation? He was inviting to what? So the prophet said, "Oh Allah, grant your mercy on the one who is tolerant if he sails, on one who is tolerant if he buys, and one who is tolerant when he seeks his rights."
In this program, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Damashkiya presents Reminders, a bouquet of various reminders and admonitions that we need to strengthen our faith, taste its sweetness, perfect our acts of worship and refine our morals.
Try to discipline them in the best way. Those daughters will be his shield. That means those will be the reason, the cause of his protection from hellfire. Because of what? Taking care of them. What you have in this life, no matter what you have, is less, and it is temporary.
Huda TV wishes you and your
اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت لك الحمد على ما قضيت ولك الشكر على ما أعطيت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We're still with the issue of names and the mandate of changing bad or awful names into good names. What about the name, as the brother said, Asya? This is how he spells it. He says Asya. He said, my question is Asya a good name? because I'm a bit confused that there is a hadith says that Asiya, that the Prophet ﷺ changed her name into Jamila, while he says, I understand that Asiya was the name of the wife of the Pharaoh. Okay, let me explain one thing. Because you're reading the English or the Latin letters, you're confusing the names. Asiya and Asiya. Asiya begins with the letter Alif in Arabic, and Asiya begins with the letter Ain, and it ends with the letter Ha or Ta marbuta. But in English, it will have almost the same spelling. It will begin with A, and Asiya will begin with A. That's why you're confused. You think the hadith is pertaining the name Asiya. Asiya bint Muzahim was the Pharaoh's wife who believed in Prophet Moses, and we know that her story was mentioned towards the end of Surah Al-Tahrim, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her and Maryam, Mary, Jesus' mother, as two examples of the women of Ahlul Jannah, the dwellers of paradise. But the name which was changed, which reads in English the same as Asiya, is Asiyah. And the hadith is collected by Imam Muslim, in which Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, narrated that Umar, his father, had a girl whose name was Asiyah, not Asiya. Okay, you see the difference? And the Prophet ﷺ changed her name to Jamila, because Asiya is such an awful name. Asiya means a sinner for a female. So who would like his daughter's name to be a sinner? No one. Or even his son to be Asi. So any name that carries an awful meaning or a bad meaning should be changed. And he changed her name into a beautiful name. The word Jamila means pretty for a girl. Okay, I hope this is clear. So now if you're going to write the name in English and it would read the same as Asiya, I would advise you avoid that name entirely, and give her a name of any of the wives or the daughters of the Prophet ﷺ, or any other name that carries a good meaning. Because as Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy on him, said, Al-asma'u qawalib lima'aniha. When you give somebody a good name, he inherits the good qualities. Names are like vessels. They contain the meaning of that name. He earns the good qualities of that name. And the opposite is true. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mahmoud from Oman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, Mahmoud. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair. I am traveling from Oman to India in Ramadan.
Yes.
So, can I keep fast in the traveling, because Sahari will be in the morning?
First of all, Mahmoud, I'm glad you reminded us that Ramadan is approaching, and it is just around the corner in less than 2 weeks, inshallah, maybe 13 or 12 days. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And as far as those who are traveling during Ramadan, they have multiple questions. Question number 1, can I fast? Yes, you can. Is it better to fast or not to fast? In the case of the fard fasting, such as Ramadan, if you can fast without difficulty or hardship to the extent that you may hurt yourself or deteriorate your health, then it is better to fast. But you're entirely exempt from fasting even without suffering. If you're physically fit and you're traveling airborne and you have no problem, once you board the plane, you're allowed to eat and drink, you're exempt from fasting. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, when He ordained fasting, He said, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخْرى. If you are sick or on a journey, you skip fasting on the day or days, and you make them up whenever you are resident or you feel better. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. The second question relating to the same subject, traveling. When you start fasting in one country, the beginning point, and your final destination point be, for instance, you reach there and it is sunset way before the normal time that you break your fast on the original country. For instance, if you normally fast in this country A, for 16, 18 hours, since you travel from A to B, when you reach B in another continent, now the sunset is 6 hours earlier than in country B. So your fasting time is shortened. What do? You estimate the number of hours and you continue fasting? No. You break your fast with the country that you arrive to. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. Then continue fasting till the night, which begins at sunset. So you're not allowed to fast past sunset in that country, even if the fasting time was only a few hours. And the opposite is true. If you decided to fast while you're exempt from fasting because you're traveling, and you travel from country A, then by the time you reach country B, it's more than 24 hours, but still it's not sunset there. Then you're not allowed to break your fast unless the sun sets in country B. That if you decide to fast. Wallahu ta'ala a'la a'la. Assalamu alaikum. Abdul Karim from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Shaykh. Thank you very much for taking the call.
You're welcome.
I have a question regarding istikhara, and I would want you to guide me and tell me whether what I'm going to tell you is it right or wrong, or if there's a better way. The way I've done istikharas for quite a few times lately, and the way I've done is like at night before sleeping, I would do 2 rakah prayers and do the dua, and then after go to sleep. And then a few times I've not seen any dream, but sometimes I've seen some dreams, and the way I thought maybe the dreams which are positive indication that okay, I should go ahead with what I'm thinking of. Some are negative and some are confusing. So I just wanted you to help me understand whether is this the right way or is it not the right way of doing, or is there
Abdul
a better way
Karim,
of doing it?
may I ask you a question, and I hope this will help all the viewers in this regard. Where did you read that you have to pray istikhara before going to sleep?
I think in some books I have read it, and it's been quite a while that I've read that.
Okay. Unfortunately, this is very, very common amongst people from a particular culture, that they believe that the istikhara should be prayed at night and you have to go to sleep right after, so that you can see the dream which would tell you where to go and what to do, or yes or no, and so on.
Right, that's true. That's my
Right? Okay. Yeah. The hadith, the sound hadith, which is narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, in this regard, does not say anything about that. Rather, look at the hadith and or listen to it. Now, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا هَمَّ أَحَدُكُمْ بِالْأَمْرِ. If you are about to do anything, a serious matter, فَلْيَرْكَعْ رَكَعَتَيْنِ مِنْ دُونِ الْفَرِيضَةِ. So let him pray 2 rak'ahs, nafl rak'ahs. ثُمَّ لْيَقُلْ. Then let him say this dua. There is no mention whatsoever of time. Where do you have to pray the 2 rak'ahs? What about if you need an istikhara urgently, early morning? You have to stay till the evening so that you can pray istikhara? You're planning to travel afternoon. Well, we cancel everything until you travel, until the evening, then you have to pray istikhara before you go to sleep, waiting for a dream to tell you what to do. This is not true, not at all. Rather, the scholars even discussed whether is it permissible to pray the istikhara during awqat al-karaha or not. Awqat al-karaha, the 3 times during every day during which one is not permissible nor allowed to pray any unnecessary prayer or nafl prayer that's not needed. Such as the time between Asr and until sunset. After you prayed Asr, there is no prayer. After you prayed Fajr, there is no prayer until past sunrise. After Asr, there is no nafl prayer until sunset. So they discussed whether is it okay to pray istikhara during these times or not. And many of the scholars said, well, the istikhara is a prayer that has a reason. So if it is needed urgently, and you need to consult Allah concerning a serious matter, then you may pray istikhara during awqat al-karaha. This is one of the two opinions in this regard. But the demand that istikhara prayer should be only offered before going to sleep is baseless. One may pray istikhara any time during the day. And if it is not urgent, should not pray istikhara during awqat al-karaha. And the results of salat al-istikhara is not necessarily by seeing a dream. One may see a dream or some sort of inspiration, but it's not required, nor is it necessary. Rather, it will be the tawfiq and the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you success, whether to do or not to do, not just in a dream. So whatever Allah makes it easy for you, this is the outcome and the result of Salatul Istikhara. You don't have to keep waiting for a dream. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Yasmin Jasmine from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. How are you?
How are you, sister? Alhamdulillah, shukrullah.
Alhamdulillah, good. May Allah reward you and your parents, your family for your great help for our ummah, especially the non-Arab speakers.
And you too, sister.
I want to ask you 3 questions.
MashaAllah.
The first question is, hello?
I hear you.
Okay, the first question is it allowed to highlight our hair with a different color? If my color of hair is black, and am I allowed to highlight it with brown or any other color?
Okay. Okay.
And the second question is it allowed to wear color contact lenses, like green or blue, any other color, and my color of the eye is black? And my third question is allowed to remove the hair from the face, like cheek or on my forehead? Yes, these are my 3 questions.
Okay. Jazakumullahu khairan, sister. Thank you so much.
Shukran.
Uzma from Oman again on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Uzma.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam.
My question is regarding, like we read the Quranic ayats and blow onto the head or of a person, or we blow it onto the water and then keep the water and drink it, that it will heal us or it will be good for us. Like we read Ayatul Kursi and Surah Fatiha and 3 Khulz, and we blow onto the faces of any person who is ill or children. Also, what is the real procedure of doing it? Shall we blow onto the water, or we should just read it in ourselves and keep it, or we should keep hand on someone or read it, or we should blow onto their faces or something?
Okay. Okay. Jazakumullahu khair. Thank you, Sister Uzma. Okay, the previous 3 questions highlighting the hair. Adorning oneself for her spouse is recommended, and adorning oneself for his spouse is also recommended. Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, used to say, I adorn myself for my wife, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. So when a woman gets a particular haircut or dye her hair in an attractive color, as long as she is not using anything that is chemically based or harmful, it may harm her hair or skin or epiderm, then it is permissible. Also, if she is not imitating the non-believers. She's not imitating the non-believers, because we're not allowed to do tashabbuh or copy and imitate the non-believers. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." I mean, in other words, when a woman sees an actress doing her hair in such style or fashion, so she copies her or imitates her, you will be resurrected with those whom you like, with those whom you imitate. I wouldn't imitate the people of sins and ma'asi, because they are disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you go to the salon whom you trust and you get a hairstyle or a dye, that is permissible if you avoid the restrictions I mentioned earlier. Color contacts, other than your natural color, is some sort of deceiving. There is no need for it. Okay? hair, the facial hair removal for the female is 100% permissible. There are some excessive hair that grow in some cases with some ladies, and that will be offensive, especially if she is married. So is she allowed to remove the facial hair? She is. But in the case of a man, it is not permissible to shave his beard. It's only recommended to trim his mustache. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abba Saleh from Nigeria, or Abba Saleh, we'll find out.
Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening. Would you please mute your TV?
Yeah, how are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, Saleh. How are you?
I have three questions, Sheikh.
Go ahead.
In a country like Nigeria, Sheikh, where men and women are mingling together, that is, women will interact with men, which is not haramia. Islamically, would it be halal for a true Muslim to allow his wife to go to office or work in a place where she should go and interact with men? Second question, Islamically, is it right or halal for a married woman to go for a business, that is to go to the market or to work in a workshop or public places? And the third question, please, Sheikh, I need more explanation on verse 33 and 34 of Surah Al-Azab. Thank you, Sheikh.
Jazakallah khairan, Abba Saleh from Nigeria. Thank you so much. Brother Faisal from Oman. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, go ahead, Faisal.
How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, thank you for asking.
Sheikh, me and my wife are expecting a baby boy.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And I'm planning to give him the name of Muqtadar. Is it okay?
Muqtadar?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
What is the reason? Why did you choose this name?
I don't know. I like the name and I like the meaning of it.
Okay. What do you know about the meaning?
I know he's the owner of the power.
What?
Like the one who's having power.
Okay, Muqtadar is not the one who's having power because it is in the passive. If it is Muqtadir,
okay,
Muqtadir is the one who is having power, who is a powerful person. But Muqtadar is the thing that there is a force or ability that was able to form it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Muqtadir. Okay? So I hope this is clear. Any other question, Faisal?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Women working and interacting with men in a non-Muslim society or in a Muslim society. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala initially prescribed for women a better option, which is وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Al-waqar, to settle at home. There is a very important task, much more important than working outside. The job of being a house engineering, of running the affairs of the house, especially when you have children. When you have children, looking after them, educating them, raising them properly, teaching them things, supervising them is the most important task. I swear it is much more important than the job of the husband who is working from 8 to 5 in order to earn his living and support the family and put bread on the table. Without this job being fulfilled, the kids go astray. You don't know what they have been taught. You don't know what they have been told throughout the day. And this is where most families in the West, in the States for instance, lose their children. 8 hours a day or more, the children at school, and when they come home, there is no one to look after them. There is the babysitter. And in many cases when you ask the woman, how much do you make? There was an interview on NPR, National Public Radio. I listened to it in Texas once after Fajr prayer. An interview with a working woman. How much do you make an hour? Versus how much do you pay your babysitter? She asked her whether they have children. She said yes. And who looks after the children? She hires a babysitter. How much do you make? So the difference was barely like $2 an hour. So you go out and you leave your children to somebody whom you don't know. There's no way that you can trust anybody else, especially paid people, over raising your children and teaching them the right way. That's why they have tons of child molestation cases. Then for what? For $2? That is before tax. By the time you pay tax, you break even. To prove what? To prove that you can go out and you can work and you can compete with men? Okay, case accomplished. Next, what about the children? The generation which is lost. That in normal cases. There are some exemptions. When a woman is a single mother, no one is to look after her. She has to go to work. That's a necessity. Then she would go out with the proper hijab, even if she is working in a mixed society. It's not her choice. Meanwhile, she keep looking for a better working conditions. Because this is called darura, or necessity. Or when the couple are in very diverse conditions, in adversity, I mean, they cannot even break even. They cannot survive on his job, on his income or earning, or the man is disabled or was in an accident, cannot work anymore. So somebody has to step out and do the job. In this case, due to the necessity with the proper conditions, it is permissible. But just simply going out in order to prove myself that I can compete with everybody else, no. That is not an Islamic way. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Assalamu alaikum. Samar, KSA.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam, Samar. How are you?
How are you? Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you, Sheikh?
Great, alhamdulillah.
Sheikh, my son's name is Zafir. Zafir, but I have come to know that Zafir is, the meaning is not good.
You know what is the meaning? You know what it means?
Yeah, it is means something like a roaring, or it is a shriek voice.
Zafir means exhale. Like shahiq is to inhale.
Zafir.
And inhale and exhale is Zafir. That is the name of Zafir. لهم فيها شهيق وزفير. Okay.
Zafir is in Surah Hud. It's Zafirun is there, so which means that shriek voice. So is this correct? I don't know. So
okay.
Please, can you say something on this?
Samar, it does not mean the roaring. The other word is the ear, but Zafir is the exhale. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about the dwellers of fire. May Allah protect us. That how they will have an inhale and exhale in An-Nar. I would recommend to keep such name anyway. It doesn't have a meaning that you would like your son to grow up, then the people will call him Zafir. So I would recommend that you change his name to a better name, inshallah. Okay? Thank you.
Yes, Sheikh, excuse me. Hello?
I hear you.
Yeah, can I keep his name Musaddiq?
Yes, Musaddiq is a great name.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
Musaddiq or Musaddiq, that's fine. في سورة الحديد, in Surah Al-Hadid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الْمُصَّدِّقِينَ وَالْمُصَّدِّقَاتِ وَأَقْرَضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. And the word Musaddiq is a person who believes in something or trusts something. So Musaddiq in this case will be a person who believes and trusts the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's a good name. Assalamu alaikum. Fatima from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Fatima, how are you?
Fine. Please, I have a question. I want to know if it's lawful for a Muslimah to paint her fingernails with nail paint when she's in a state of impurity.
Okay, and this is within her household or before the mahram, right? Or she would go out with that. Okay, if it is the first case, yes, it is permissible for a Muslim woman to wear a nail polish during the menses. Why not throughout the entire time? Because it acts as a barrier. It prevents the water from reaching the nails, the fingernails and the two nails. And anything that acts as a barrier, it does not let the water wash or get through the body parts which should be washed during ablution, then the ablution is invalid. And ablution, whenever it is invalid or incomplete, then the prayer is invalid as well, even if the person keeps praying on and on. So during the menses, it will be permissible if you keep it at home. Not to wear the nail polish and go out, because this is a zina. This is adornment. It attracts people to look at your fingers and at your nail polish. That should be kept only for your household and for your husband. جزاكم الله خيرا. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Last question, because we're short of time. Abdul Rahman from New York is asking about whether it is permissible to make dua while you are in sujood during the fard prayer. Yes, it is permissible, and it is recommended. أقرب ما يكون العبد من ربه وهو ساجد. It is permissible to make dua, and it is perfectly legal while you are in a state of sujood, whether in fard or nafli prayer. And let me extend to that another addition, which is, and if you are a non-Arab and do not know any dua in Arab, or you have a specific need that you want to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fulfill it, and you don't know how to phrase it in Arabic, you don't know any verse in the Quran in the form of supplication in this regard, it is permissible for you to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your mother tongue. And I hope that helps all of us to get involved in the process of dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Udu'uni astajib lakum." Invoke me, I shall answer your invocation. Supplicate to me, and I shall respond to your supplication. We are approaching the great month of Ramadan. We should turn towards the Quran and begin the month with repentance and with a new covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we will regularly commit ourselves to fulfill what He ordered and avoid what He has prohibited. Brothers and sisters, until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.